Well stated. I stand corrected. All right, so we're gonna share this. Share. Share. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome to the Straight to Work Curriculum virtual Straight to Work curriculum session. Today is December 1st. Um, Today we're gonna be talking about career planning and self-assessment, understanding yourself, right? Understanding who you are to start to build your future. Um, Off of that, right? My name is Deshaun Jennings. I'm the founder of Straight Up Employment Services. I started this organization in 2023 to address economic disparities and to ensure that families are guided accordingly in the employment space, and that we are creating relationships with employers to let them understand that there are people out there that really can do the job that they may be looking over. So we kind of bridge the gap with that type of intel, and we understand what community means, and we really thrive off community. As mentioned, this is a registered 501c3. Straight Up Employment Services is a registered 501c3. I actually want to go live with this. Something here. Ability to. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Straight to Work Career Planning and Self Assessment webinar. Today we'll be discussing how to, really assess yourself to build your future and to understand that, how to align your values with your career goals. This will be a pretty much of a brief discussion, and I'm looking to, I want y'all, if you really see some information here, drop it in the chat. If you have any comments or any question, please drop it in the chat. And if you see any information here that you want to, want, more deeper knowledge about, please reach out to your job developer. As you know, there's a way to contact. So, use the Calendly link or, reach out to them directly, 973-289-6882. So this webinar we'll be discussing career planning and self-assessment. My name is Deshaun Jennings. I've started Straight Up Employment Services in 2023 to kind of cut into the economic disparities. My own self frustration, working at certain jobs, working in certain roles, knowing that I had certain abilities, but there was even barriers to people understanding that. So, understanding that, the people really want to do the job, but there may be barriers to it. And we address that approach. We have a employee mentor approach where before we even get into kind of the employment piece of it and linking them to a job or whatever, we want to really understand why they're unemployed currently. Address those barriers, as we have known, transportation, childcare, lack of work experience, lack of employable documents is all reasons why people in our community are have limited opportunities when it comes to employment. So today we're going to explore strengths, values, and goals, and kind of lead with a practical next step. Everything shared in this session, I would say it's going to stay confidential, but we're on Facebook Live, so please drop everything in your chat if you on now. I know a couple of my clients on. Just drop things in the chat, and I'll see if I can get to you. If anything feels heavy, when you're addressing this, please feel free to say so and step off, turn off your camera. So drop in a comment before we start. Where are you dialing in from? Where are you from? If you're on Facebook Live, where are you watching from? Just drop that in the chat. So why does career planning matters? As you know that, career planning, it really helps you understand what you're going to do. It really helps you make informed job choices when it comes to employment. Um, a career helps you build towards more stability and honestly choices. So we'll focus on small steps that add up. So what matters most right now when it comes to employment? What matters most? Is it avoiding a dead end job and burnout, or building long term stability and growth? See, this is all encompasses career planning. And when you start to think about your next step, as far as your career, you have to think about these type of things. And a lot of people leave one opportunity and jump into another opportunity, and they don't really analyze why they are skipping jobs. So if you start here and really look at yourself and understand your strengths, what are your strengths, what are you really interested in, right? And align a road to that, you may find that you can find some sustainable opportunities. So drop in the chat what matters most to you right now. Is it stable pay? Is it shorter commute? Is it learning new skills? Is it advancements? Is it just doing something, right? So what matters the most? So what is self-assessment? Self-assessment is learning what you're strong at, what you like, and what you need right now. It's your skills, your ability, understanding your interests, your passion, understanding your values and your priorities, as well as your life circumstances and needs. So looking at yourself from a mirror point of view, saying like, what are my skills? Am I good at analyzing things? Am I a critical thinker? Am I good with communication? Am I good with people? Am I not good with people? Am I not a good at communication? Right? All of that is information. And your abilities, right? What are some of your abilities? Look at that. Your interests, your passion, your values, your priorities. For instance, for example, I have I have had a client in the past that really enjoys going to the gym. All he does is go to the gym. That's what he really does. If he's not working, he's in the gym. So we understand that that's his interest and his passion. So aligning a job that fits with physical activity worked with him. I worked with this client probably about five. Oh wow, shoot, like right, dang, say about 10 years ago. and he still works for UPS. Actually, has been promoted to a more higher level role, and is actually thriving. So we linked his physical activity to a job unloading, you know, boxes from trucks, and that's something he really was passionate about. It is actually was like going to the gym to him, and it worked out for him. So just that type of situation, times 10, and self-assessment, looking at that. Some people like painting, right? If you break that down, you may have um, a level of attention to detail, right? Your values, your priorities. So identifying your strengths. Um, I want, if you're in the comments section, if you have time, let's list three strengths, skills, straight, any traits, any experiences that you may have had that can actually highlight some of your abilities. Your strengths include skills you're good at, things people often ask you for help with, right? Um, your lived experience, challenges you have survived, right? That's your strength. Work habits, how you show up, your teamwork, your problem solving, right? These are all strengths. Are you able to identify that? So, interest in work preferences. You must ask yourself, do you prefer hands-on or desk work? Do you like sitting? Do you like standing? Do you like working with people? Do you like working independently? Do you enjoy routine? Do you enjoy variety? Do you enjoy a busy, loud space? Is that something that you tweak out a little bit? I know I have a couple of clients that have been in a couple of shootouts, and they're not really privy on loud banging, right? So understanding that PTSD, right, will kind of transcend from your life to your workplace. Looking at that, indoors or outdoors, right? Do you enjoy working indoors or versus outdoors? Do you enjoy both, right? Do you enjoy a situation with both? These are all you should look at, right? And this is what we kind of try to tell our clients. It's easy for us to link you to a job, but we must know, we want to make this sustainable. So if you're able to provide this information, we are yeah, we have a higher chance of linking you to employment that is sustainable. So some example areas is hospitality, construction and trade, healthcare, warehouse and logistics, administrative, creative and media, right? Anything, right? So what are your interests and work preferences? Continue to ask yourself that. What are some values and non-negotiables, right? When we think about that, knowing what you can't compromise, keeps you from taking a job that you're really not going to have past 3 to 6 months. So understanding your values and negotiables are very important. What are some non-negotiables? What are some things that you're not going to be able to take at a job, as mentioned before, right? So this is not, people look at, may say, hey, you must be able, beggars can't be choosers in that type of space. But no, that's not true, because employers would rather not to have a turnover rate. They would rather sustainability. So, no, you have a right to choose. You have a right to choose exactly what type of workspace you will thrive in, right? And this is important, and because a lot of people like to just take any type of job, and that's cool. We understand bills got to be paid, no doubt about that. I say no doubt in my mind about that. But we have to really understand that you got to look at your values. What do you value, right? What are some things you may you may you may be Muslim, right? And you're not gonna really want to work on a grill where they serving pork all day, right? Like, you get what I'm saying? So these are some values, right? You have to really look at that. Some people bend those, right? And then you end up at another job when you don't have to do that. And so it's not sustainable. So knowing what you can compromise on, knowing what you can compromise on and what you can't, it kind of keep you from taking jobs that causes like unnecessary stress. Um, so what are some non-negotiables for you? Drop some in the chat. Think about it. Drop some. Drop some in the comment. What are some non-negotiables when it comes to life? Like, what are you not going to stand for? People need a stable schedule. People need to be home. People want to be with their kids to watch them play their sports. That's one of my things. Like, I'd rather be with my kids and be able to clear my schedule and see them while out, see them thrive in life. That's some non-negotiables for me, non-negotiables, music, right? After 5, it's another side of the office that opens up, non-negotiable, right? You can't talk to me about employment too much about after 5. Work-life balance. You got to have that work-life balance, helping others. Some people want to work in community. Some people are not about to work nowhere else but a nonprofit organization that serves community. Growth and advancement. People want to see where growth and advancement. People rather have a company that is transparent on growth and advancement. Those are non-negotiables. Why? Because those are federal laws actually that mandate that to happen. So, these are real reasons why you can actually align your values with your career path. So there may be barriers, as we all know. As we all know that when you're aligning your values and saying that, I wouldn't want to work here, you got to look at some things. How is transportation? If you have children, what about childcare? How is housing? Any criminal history? Any education gaps? What about mental or physical health? Or even confidence or motivation, right? So these are real life barriers, right? Some people are more confident than others. And that shows up in spaces such as interviews that can actually be a barrier to you actually getting a job, mental or physical health. If you can't lift up to 50 pounds and, you can either go to the gym or somebody's going to be able to lift that 50 pounds in that requirement. So that might be a gap for you. Education gaps. Um, you know, the high school diploma is now pretty much mandatory, but you can pretty much there are jobs that don't really look at it, but high school diplomas are mandatory, and that's like a given. You're supposed to have it. That's an education gap. If you don't have a high school diploma, you have probably limited your chances to make probably $50,000 more at that job that you're looking, right? Or you have limited your capability of advancing at that job. So you have to really understand that. Even at being employed, there may be barriers. Criminal record. We all know that criminal history has, I would like to say, thousands of collateral consequences. I've tried to keep track. I can't keep track of all of them, as the social climate change and federal policies change and all of that. So does those type of barriers. So, with criminal history, pay attention. Just to have an assault charge, that's for slapping somebody, you won't be able to work in a school or something, right? You know, um, be careful. Like, make better decisions in life, but understand that, once you hit that threshold of having a criminal history, there are collateral consequences that's going to show up in housing, childcare, right? Your ability to take care of your child. So understand it. So as we move on, setting career goals, smart goals. You want to make sure your goals are um, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. I like to, and I would, we here at Straight Up Employment Services, we have a straight up employment roadmap. I wish I could show you, and there was a way I can be like pull it up right now, but I don't think I have one on me. So with our clients, we usually work with them to create a straight up employment roadmap. Well, to them it's like an intake assessment, but to us, we create a roadmap. We understand based on the information provided and the barriers and how long it takes to assess some barriers. For example, if someone is looking to get a SORA license, we understand that's a time bound. We understand how long that may take. If someone is looking for to to develop a resume. We have more control over that, right? So we can put a time on it, develop a resume. But let's use developing a resume as a goal. That is my goal, to develop a resume. Let's say developing a resume is my goal, right? Um, would that goal be considered smart to you? Right? That's the question. No, because it's not specific, right? So if I wanted to make that a SMART goal, I would be like I would convert it to um my goal is to develop a resume by next Friday. Or if we want to emphasize on it, uh, um we can say my goal is to develop a resume geared to a certain position by next Friday, right? So, it's making it specific as possible. It kind of helps you navigate, right? Imagine putting in an address into like your maps to go somewhere without the number of the house or the number of the location. You just got the street. That's pretty much what you do when you set a smart goal, when you set a goal that's not specific or even measurable. And midterm goals, you want to understand that each goal is a should be a stepping stone to the next goal. Create a resume. I'm gonna apply to 10 jobs. And in 3 to 12 months, I'm gonna secure stable employment, right? These are all goals. And 1 to 3 years, I look to be employed, promoted, certification, new field, or whatever goals you set for yourself. So through Straight Up Employment Services, we provide career coaching and case management. As mentioned, we have an employee mentor approach, meaning that we believe that employment is important, but addressing the barriers is very much important as well. So our employee mentor approach, it is our evidence-based approach, right? That allows us to kind of zero in on the barriers, understand that our people really need mentors for real. They don't really need too much people that you know they can be linked to a job. That's easy, but I want to understand what's going on, why you continue to be unemployed so much, right? And once you start having those conversations, you're able to get some information, right? You're able to get some information, and it's vital that our work is connected. It's really built in partnership, right? Our work is really around being a part of an ecosystem of supportive service agents that can be able to assist with those barriers, such as housing, such as transportation, right? Such as food insecurity. As you know, if you can't eat, you're not going to work properly, or you're going to lose your job. Imagine going in a week without really eating, and you hear something that's, what I mean? I tweak too. Like, so having that understanding with your clients really makes it better, right? That relatability, credibility. That's the how we support through that employee mentor approach. Resume and interview support, job leads and referrals. As I mentioned, a lot of employers reach out to us, say we have these open positions. But more so we look to address those barriers to employment. Accountability and encouragement is very important to us as well. So in closing, just one strength. I want everyone just to put one strength that they have into the comment section, and into the chat. Just one strength that you may have. One barrier that you need help with, right? Place that barrier. We've discussed barriers, right? And it's okay, to really, you got to highlight your barrier. You can't tuck your barrier. A lot of people struggle with finding sustainable opportunities or working dead end jobs because they feel the need to hide the barrier. No, you did time. You did you know what I'm saying? People need to hear those stories. People need to hear those stories of redemption, right? If you have a criminal history, if it's transportation, people want to help, right? Give people these organizations that's supposed to help with transportation, their data point, right? So reach out. So don't be hiding those barriers. One career goal I want to and highlight one career goal you want to explore as well. Also, if you are a client, please reach out to your job developer um, to schedule an appointment or to complete your straight up employment roadmap if you haven't. And we will see. This is our morning session, and this will probably be the only one recorded. I'm not going to record the evening session because we're going to be covering the same thing. But yeah, till next week, Monday, um, around this time, I think 11 a.m. I'm gonna launch it. I see y'all next week. And what are we discussing next week? I think we're discussing career mindset and career readiness mindset. Working on that your mental models when it comes to careers. So again, it's great to hear. It's great to see you all. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me directly, 973-289-6882. If you are looking for a job, please go to www STR, the number 8, UPEmployment.org. On your front page, you want to see the referral form. It's like right there. Click that referral form. It's actually in Spanish. It's actually in Spanish and English. If you're looking for a Spanish version, click the top right, convert it to Spanish. Uh, so if you need any assistance, please feel free to reach out. We're here to support. Thank you all. Love you all, and have a good week.